My beloved child, I could wait no longer to speak these words to you. Not because I want fear to fill your heart, and not because you are in danger of missing something that was meant to be yours. I am speaking now because you have entered a moment where what is changing around you may look small at first, yet its meaning will be greater than you realize. Stay here with me for a few more minutes. Quiet the noise around you. Put down, just for now, the thoughts that have been pulling you in 10 different directions. There is something I want you to understand before the next chapter begins. You have been asking me for an answer, but you may not have realized that I have also been preparing you for the answer. You thought the waiting was about getting through the delay. I knew the waiting was teaching you how to receive without fear. For a long time, you believed that when the right door finally opened, everything inside you would immediately feel certain. But that is not always how my guidance works. Sometimes the door opens quietly. Sometimes the opportunity arrives through an ordinary conversation. Sometimes a message appears on a normal afternoon. Sometimes someone changes the way they speak to you. Sometimes a possibility comes back after you had already decided it was over. And because it does not arrive with thunder, you may overlook it. But listen carefully, my child. Do not judge what is coming by how loudly it arrives. The things that come from me do not always demand attention. They bring clarity. They give you room to think. They do not require you to betray your peace just to keep them. And this is where I need you to be careful. Because when something new begins to appear, something old may try to return at the same time. A familiar person. A familiar pattern. A familiar temptation to accept less because you are afraid nothing better will come. You may hear words you have wanted to hear for a long time. You may feel your heart soften. You may start remembering only the good parts. But do not let one emotional moment erase everything you learned during the season that brought you here. Look at the fruit, not only the words. Look at consistency. Look at character. Look at whether peace remains after the excitement fades. What is genuine does not need to rush you. What is healthy does not punish you for needing time. What is true can survive an honest question. And what I am leading you toward will not require you to become smaller so that someone else can feel comfortable. My child, you have spent too much of your life believing that being good means always being available. You have called exhaustion love. You have called overgiving loyalty. You have called silence peace. You have even called going back surrender. But I want to teach you something different now. You can love people without carrying what belongs to them. You can forgive without reopening every door. You can care without abandoning yourself. You can say no without becoming cruel. And you can wait without putting your entire life on pause. There is strength in that. There is maturity in that. And there is freedom in finally understanding that my blessing does not require you to destroy your boundaries to receive it. If these words are touching a place in your heart that you have struggled to put into words, leave a simple amen in the comments. Not as a routine, but as a quiet way of saying, God, I am listening. Teach me to recognize what is truly meant for me. So when the next opportunity appears, do not panic. You do not have to decide in fear. You do not have to answer immediately because someone else wants an immediate answer. You do not have to prove that you are grateful by accepting everything placed in front of you. Pause. Pray. Look again. Let the first emotion settle. Then ask me, does this lead me toward truth, peace, wisdom, and growth? You may be surprised by how clearly the answer comes when you stop trying to force it. And there is something else you need to hear. The season you thought was empty was not empty. I was doing work you could not see. I was closing doors that would have taken you backward. I was exposing motives that you could not yet recognize. I was teaching you to stop chasing what kept running from you. I was helping you understand that rejection does not always mean you were rejected. Sometimes a closed door is simply protection arriving before understanding. Sometimes a delay is mercy. Sometimes losing what you begged to keep is the very thing that creates room for what you are finally ready to receive. So do not look at the empty space in your life and assume I have forgotten you. Empty space can be preparation. A cleared room can be ready for something new. And my child, you are not being asked to become fearless before you move forward. You are being asked to stop allowing fear to make every decision for you. You may still feel nervous. You may still wonder whether you can trust again. You may still remember what happened before. But this time, you do not have to respond the way the old version of you responded. That is the change. The miracle may not only be what arrives. The miracle may be that when it arrives, you finally recognize it without losing yourself in it. So today, release the need to control every outcome. Release the need to know every detail before taking the next step. And release the belief that you must earn what I have prepared by exhausting yourself. I am not asking you to chase the future. I am asking you to be ready for it. And when that moment comes, you will know more than you think. Not because everything will be perfectly explained, but because something inside you will be different. You will no longer be desperate for what costs you your peace. You will no longer mistake confusion for connection. You will no longer call familiar pain a safe place. You will look at what is before you and say, I do not have to lose myself to receive what is good for me. That is the lesson I have been building in you. And my beloved child, that lesson is worth far more than a temporary answer. So stay close to me. Let me teach you how to recognize what is true. Let me strengthen you enough to walk away from what is not. And when the right door opens, do not be afraid of how peaceful it feels. You have spent enough time believing that good things must come with struggle. Sometimes my greatest gifts arrive without chaos. Sometimes they arrive quietly. But when they do, you will be ready.